Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another video and let me present myself for those of you who are new to the channel and who don't know me and I'll just take this step to get straight into it. I'll just say who I am. So my name is Mihai Veneteanu. I'm a Romanian chess player and I would say the category like expert level. I don't hold the title of master yet, but I would say I'm playing at the strength of master. So I'm basically a chess player, and yeah, my rating is 2100 in classical FIDE, and 2500 online on chess.com in all on all formats like classical, rapid, blitz. And it's not to brag or anything. Sure, there are players that are higher than me and players that are lower than me. I'm just presenting myself. All right. And what more? What more? So I'm 23 years old. I come from Romania, Bucharest, more to be exact. That's where I was born anyway. So I'm just gonna do a short presentation. Um, and yeah, what else can I say? I finished college, and I'm here. I'm making. Why am I making this video? I'm here right now. I'm in Duluth. I'm in Minnesota, and yeah, I've been here for 3 months. I'm about to end the program. I'm basically a seasonal worker, nothing to do with chess at all, like the program to come into America, but it has to do like with college. That's it's a program for students. That's how we get the visa, and it's basically a seasonal work program for students. Anyway, but why am I making this video? I think I'm gonna title it like something like Duluth chess games or something like that. How I came into Duluth, and I want to kind of target and I wanna connect with people from the group on Facebook also Twin Ports Chess Club because I'm gonna tell the story and a little bit, and I'll also put timestamps actually here. It's kind of harder because this is my left and on the camera it looks like the right. Anyway, so it's like a mirror. Anyway, but I put time formats down, and you can you can how do I say how you can skip. You can skip. You can also go to the games. You can go to the introduction. You can go to the presentation. You can go to the stories, right? But I feel like I need to do this. If you don't want to watch it, just don't watch it. Anyway, so yeah, so I'll just present the story a little bit because this video is in English. It's targeted for English speaking players and people and Americans, but for everybody, who understands English really, and maybe even subtitles in Romanian. Why not? So, so you're right. I've been in Duluth, Minnesota for 3 months, and basically Duluth is a town, like a city, actually a small city. I would say around 100,000 people living here. And so I've been for 3 months, for 12 weeks, more to be exact, and I've gone every week in between my jobs because I've worked in between the jobs when I had some spare time. I've gone to play chess and meet with people at the chess cafe, Wussow's cafe, and connect with them and you know, um, like present myself and because I was a total stranger and I know, you know, at least right now. And sorry, I'm probably nervous. I have all of these emotions, so I'm not speaking very coherently, or how do you say, like back to back phrases and words and everything like fluently and natively. I'm sorry about that. I guess it's just nervousness. And also I have to apologize for one more thing, like the background. I know it's very you can I'm distracting your attention perhaps. It's very messy. But that's a good thing if you write Messi with an I, because he's such a good football player, just as a joke. This is just my dorm room. This is just my room. I mean, I couldn't film or record in any other place, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this is who I am. This is where I'm at. And yeah, regarding the story of Wussow's Cafe, so I've been for 12 weeks. Today is my last day. I'll be going in a few hours and play again. And one time I was able to hold a chess session to coach people. Obviously for free. Nobody paid me anything, so it's just my pleasure. And yeah, I've been eager to go there and just help people get better at chess, improve at chess. The last week, I believe, I even gave people. I made some PDFs and I've created a QR code. So I've given some free PDFs, some short steps to improve, to improve with concentration in chess, to improve with what else? What else? It's like brick by brick, and then 0 to 500 ELO, and then 500 to 1000 ELO, another PDF, some tips of like a few pages, like 3, 5 pages, up to 7 pages, and then 1000 to 1500 ELO improvement. And then what do you need to do? 1500 to 2000 ELO to improve. So I figured I would give them as a gift. Also, like last week, I was supposed to do another coaching chess session with the people there. So what else can I say? How many people gathered there? So basically, it's in Duluth in Spirit Valley, right? And there's a cafe there. We gather and people gather there at 6 p.m. on every Monday, right? And if there's anybody watching from from the club, from Twin Ports Chess Club, they have a Facebook group as well. And I'm making this video also to get some recognition or some awareness, or also to connect with people, to tell you guys who I am, and to just story tell that I've been there. And I also want to show some games. Again, it's to present myself, it's not to brag, and it's also not to belittle, you know what I mean? So what else? If there's people watching, I can even tell by name. Hi Andy, hi everybody. I know the guys, Javante and what who else? Brandon and Ron and Rob and everybody, Gage and Trevor and Bhodi, and just for credibility, and Mr. I believe New York and everybody, all the others, and the little girl that plays, and the kids, Emmet, Emmet, and so on. I'm just trying to recall when chess players look in another direction. Is basically it's like also closing my eyes because I'm trying to like not get distracted because vision is so powerful, and I'm trying to recollect my thoughts, my memories. And so that's why, because I recall the names and their faces, and you guys, if you're watching, and so yeah, that's why I'm looking around. If you often see chess players looking at the ceiling or looking around or closing their eyes, it's because we're trying to conserve our vision, our energy, and our attention to kind of focus our attention on other aspects, right? On recalling instead of watching, instead of viewing something, right? Right? Makes sense? I hope so. So yeah, I'm just making this introductory video, and then another part with showing the games. I'll also try not to make it too long. Uh, Hold on. Hope. Oh yeah, yeah. I think I was a little bit concerned that you guys were able to see my screen on the laptop, but then I realized no, you can only see my camera. So what else do I want to say? Yeah, I want to say also that I'm very grateful and I'm thankful to Andy in special, and to all of the people at the Twin Ports Chess Club and people that gathered at Usos for listening to me and playing and listening to like my insights, my analysis, my advices, and yeah, and just showing attention to me and to what I preach and to that chess session that I did. And unfortunately, we couldn't hold one last week because it was busy, and that's basically the reason. It was just busy, and I didn't have room to put a demonstration board. But this Monday, there's another player coming in, a FIDE master, I believe Bruce or something like that, and he's gonna hold a chess simultation exhibition. I think it's gonna be fun, and I'm eager to go and talk to everybody, to engage and connect and show my expertise. Even if for no money, it doesn't really matter as long as I'm able to help people, because that's what I want. If I can make an improvement in somebody's life, if I can make an impact, and that person can remember me, I'm eager to do that, I'm eager to do that, even if I don't get paid, because you guys don't know me, you might be asking, who is this dude? Like, why does he do that? What's the gig? What's the catch? There's no catch. I just want to grow my channel. I just want to grow as a coach. I just want to grow also as a player and as a human. I want to get better recognition and to improve my skills, my communication skills, my teaching skills. Obviously, everybody wants money. We need money to survive, but first I need to get better at what I'm doing, right? And whoever, like, now I think it's the right opportunity, because money is like, somebody gives us money in Engage for getting something in return. So for a skill, for example. So I also do coaching. So it's not advertising or anything, like that's not the purpose of the video. But this is a timestamp. So if anybody is interested, just drop me a message or comment or anything. I'm not pushing. I anyway show content, free content for everybody. So my aim is just to spread awareness of the game and make it fun, make it engaging, to learn some skills for myself. So some selfish reasons too. But yeah, I just want to help people. That's all. So what else? What else? So I think I'm gonna tell some more stories, a little bit of Duluth, and then I'm gonna get to showing games. So I've had some good time here. I really liked it. Um, yeah, it was a little bit busy because I've worked a lot at my jobs, and yeah, just to get some credibility, some native. I have worked at Spirit Mountain. I've worked at okay. I felt a little bit embarrassed. Like, okay, I like to present myself, to post the video and to talk. Like, it's like but the truth is the truth. The facts are the facts. Like, some people may laugh because I've been a worker, and worked some, not like the best premium jobs you can have. For example, I've worked at Spirit Mountain, I've worked at Super One, and I've worked at KFC, and I've also done chess coaching online. So I've had 4 jobs, but I'm just presenting myself. I'm just stating the fact, and I don't care anymore about if people laugh and just say, "Oh, look at this dude, look at this guy," and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just presenting myself so that you guys know me, and who knows, maybe somebody will feel inspired and we'll see this as hard work, and yeah, we'll just maybe I'll inspire somebody to take action. Maybe they will start working. I don't want to say in those places necessarily, but they would just put in more effort, more time, and just be, just going out, just do more, and to be more consistent. Like, apart, like, with those 4 jobs, even with them, I've been able to come every single week, every Monday at 6 p.m., for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, playing with people. I've also given some simuls, like casual, not organized, some simuls to some people. Some of you guys might recall. And I've played three people at once. I've played, and it's not to brag. Again, it's not to brag. Okay, and what else? I've played some blindfold games. I've played one blindfold, another blindfold, like just closing my eyes and just playing the mode. I've won most of the games, but yeah, I've lost two. I'm not gonna say who, because if anybody is interested, if anybody is curious, ask me in private, and I'll say, or comment down below if you're curious. But usually, like, I've blundered some stuff, you know. And yeah, I think those are really the stories. What else? Duluth and the city with the Lake Superior is pretty nice, pretty beautiful. I've really liked it here when I was in Canal Park and at the lake. I've gone once inside the lake, so it was pretty neat. It was a pretty cool experience. And I've gone once at Enger Park. I've gone once at Enger Park, and it's pretty cool, like with the tower and the Japanese garden and with the observatory. So I've had some fun apart from work. And so that's it basically. And now I just want to show you some games that to go with more credibility. So I'll minimize my camera and I'll show you some games that we've played at the cafe. I was trying to recall them because I haven't saved them immediately after we played them. So you can see the board here. So, for example, let's see which one. Let me show you a full one game. And I can say also who I've played against. I've played a lot of games, and so, for example, this. Okay, yeah, yeah, I remember this. All right. So in this one, I'm with black, and it was actually from last week against Bhodi, and I was black. So I'm gonna show some games. We played in Duluth face to face at the cafe, and the time control usually was at times it was like 15 minutes and then a 5 second delay. Um, yeah, it usually was like that. Other times it was 20 minutes with uh, with 5 seconds delay or 10 seconds delay or something like that. At other times, I don't really remember, but it was even at one point it was blitz, I think, 5 minutes plus three or something like that. Uh, yeah, and we played more rounds, and we played back to back. Like we played eight games. Like we I played against a player in a round, and then we swapped the colors. Anyway, so last week we played rapid games, 15 minutes plus 10 seconds increment. And so this is where it starts, okay? And I'm with black. So knight f3, knight c6, d4. It's a classical Sicilian. I take, and he plays knight c3. I go d6, obviously, and Body chose bishop c4, e6, castles, bishop e7. I don't remember if those were the exact moves, because I've just put them up now, like after 1 week, you know? And but it's still impressive to put up so many moves. Like I've put, if you can watch this, I've put more than 100 moves. Like I've put more than 3 games that I've recalled. More or less they're the same position. So I've played the Sicilian where now I castle, and yeah, this is I don't really agree with White's play here because first of all you're playing Bishop G5, Bishop. Oh, actually, I think you play Rook E1, but it's just not convincing for me. I think black is fine, honestly, here. Like, I honestly, with black, I'm more concerned with the bishop c4 line. If white tries for something like f4, king h1, and f5, like that's what I play with white. I'm just giving you some of my secrets. Take them or don't. Try test them and see how they go for you. They might work. For me, they work online. I've won plenty of games against 2,300 players, 2,400 players, 2,500 players. And again, for more credibility, let's just show my profile a little bit. Oh, this is my profile, like over the board, 2,100 in classical. Okay. And then like my online profile. Hold on. Let me show it to you. Uh, so I prepared more things to show you guys, like for more credibility. So this is my profile, and yeah, I am 2,500 and in rapid, bullet, and blitz. Again, it's to show and to state to get to know me, not to brag, okay? Because sure, certainly there are strong players, 2,600, 2,700, 3,000, So, you know, I'm not there. So people can brag more than me. So I'm not trying to brag. So let's get back to the game. Body played bishop g5 and bishop c4. Okay, a6, rook e1. We've seen this already in castle, and now queen d2, knight a5 to go after the bishop. And I want to play b5 with bishop to b7, just develop my queen side, which is natural. I might go play knight c4 also. So b5. Now here maybe e5, or because I didn't really remember the move order. I've just put it as I've recalled. Um, I think I could have survived somehow with like takes the knight d5 and takes. But it seems to me that he wins the pawn, so maybe I take this first. But there's also knight b5 hanging as well, which is kind of bad because the rook opened up. My point was now there's no more bishop taking the pawn over here, you know, right? And if he takes, I take, but yeah, takes, I take, and black is fine. The only problem is that he has knight b5, here or another situation. So anyway, because I don't remember the move order exactly. This is basically how we played. I got knight c4, and then I took with the pawn. Okay, and then white plays king h1, a prophylactic move, where it's kind of a waste of time, honestly. Or maybe he needed to do that earlier, and now it's like a waste of time. He should have been more brutal, perhaps, or I don't know, maybe here he really needs to take on f6, because now there's a trick. And pause the video if you and check out the best move for black. So pause it right now, black to move and capture something and just get a better position. Yeah, if you found it, definitely knight takes c4, knight takes c4, and bishop takes h4. So the thing is, we as black capture a pawn over here. It seems like we're giving a free knight, but it comes with an attack on the queen, and the queen cannot move to defend the bishop because that's the whole point. We sacrifice the knight, and then we pick up the bishop. So this is what happened in the game anyway. And then I attack the rook. And by the way, like a story at this point, he actually wanted to move uh the knight, the horse, like this guy over here. So he picked him up, and then he asked me if he can move something else, but and I agreed. 'Cause I'm already winning anyway because I'm up a pawn, or at least I have a better position. But yeah, so yeah, he played b3 here, or he played b3 earlier. Bhodi played b3 earlier with the knight over here, and these things happened earlier. But anyway, I'm just presenting what happened in the game. This is more or less what happened. He attacked my bishop. I moved back, and then Bhodi like played a quiet move, d5, knight c3, bishop to a3, and then we played something like this where he lost a piece and then he resigned. Now, to say the complete picture, he could have won the game, not on the board. There's something funny. So I actually, when I played the game against Bodi, I was feeling sick. My stomach was acting up, and I had to go to the restroom. And I asked him if I could stop the clock, and he agreed. He's a boy. He's a kid. And yeah, I'm thankful. If you're watching this, Bodi, thank you. And yeah, I was accepting the fact if he wanted to run the clock, I was fine with it. He could have won on time, and yeah, but he like I have more props and the respect to Bodhi for choosing to play against me, because this is one way to learn and to get more experience against a stronger player, against a better player, and yeah, you need the experience. It's better than to just get a quick meaningless victory where we play tournaments, but we play casually. So there's obviously no prize money, there's no tournament. So if he had won the game, he didn't really win anything. He just won a symbolic game. uh, Whereas you could say the same thing for me, because I'm the stronger player, and I won the game. It's like won a symbolic victory. But that's not my purpose, to go there and just beat people, beat lower rated players. It's just to, engage with people, get to meet new people, get some friends, buddies, and show my expertise again after the game, show insight, analysis, and show my comments, my thoughts, and do some commentaries and stuff like that. It's just just for fun, I guess, right? Now let's go back to the board and let me show you some more games. So this was one game from last week. Let me show you one more game. So you can see the board right here. I was playing with black here against, who was it? Denis. Yeah. So I played this g6 modern defense and then c5. Now obviously it looks like a free pawn, but you can really see that if he grabs it, then he drops b2, and then my bishop is active, his rook is trapped, or maybe he can play bishop d4 or something, or but it's no fun. It's no fun. So that's why he reinforces the center, and then I go d6. Queen d2, knight f6, bishop d3 to protect the pawn, knight d7 to develop, h3 to stop knight g4. That's what he played, that's what Denis played. And now a6, I start trying to advance on the queen side. I could keep my king in the center also, because if he starts an attack already after g4, for example, I can go b5, and he doesn't really do anything. I can go knight h5, or maybe this is not such a good move because it has bishop to e2, and now I have problems. because he will double my pawns. The pawn on h5 will be kind of weak. But hold on, let me see. So maybe I don't go b5. Maybe I just create a square. Maybe I take once, and maybe then I play e5, to create a square to play like this, or just to get another square. Like if he pushes d5, then I can play knight c5, and then g5 I can play knight to d7. It's all strategy, It's all strategy. It's all freeing up the position squares. Now, strategy obviously is hand in hand with tactics, so you also gotta watch out for tactics. Anyway, he played bishop to h6. He didn't play g4. He wanted to attack me brutally. I believe the best move is bishop to h6, like from the engine if I turn it on. And then that's what I was thinking, because I recall the positions, like I play some of these online, because the point is, let me show you the point. Like the engine is showing queen b6. Point is that I'm distracting his queen. I haven't castled yet, and it looks like he's infiltrating. But let me show you if I do something like silly. If I just waste time, for example, b6, and if he goes queen g7, I just got rook g8. Cannot take this because it's protected by the knight. The rook is obviously guarded, and he has to go back. And yeah, it's just that I lose my right to castle, but I'll move my bishop, for example. I move the queen, and then I'll castle queenside, which makes sense. But what makes more sense instead of b6 is queen b6, which the engine showed, which he is distracted on the left wing, and I'm just gonna hit the right wing, and he may end up with some trouble, with some problems, right? So that's the point. But I didn't want to stress about anything, so I didn't take the bishop. But I knew that there were positions like this, and I knew like the evaluation of the engine because I've played it online. I've lost with black and I've won with black when I played bishop to h6. So I did castle. This is the game against Denis. Again, Denis plays with white, and I played with black. Like a small story, we played 3 games, and I won them all. This is one of them. Spoiler alert. He took the bishop because he wants to attack me, and he played g4 to kind of hit my king and hit the king side. And obviously, I just want to expand on the queen side. It's not that I'm trying to hit him. It's more or less that I'm trying to develop my bishop and I want to free up my pieces, if that makes sense. So he plays f3, like to preempt bishop to b7. And now I don't care about bishop to b7 because it's like a waste of time. So I'm just playing e5, like somebody hits you in on a wing, like on the king side, you respond in the center. Now it would have been probably better to take first and then push e5, because after d5, and you'll see like in the game now, because I took and I put up the pawn, then I free up not only the square, which I did in the game, but I also free up the c file, and my rook can come to the c file, if that makes sense. So he can go bishop, for example, here. I can move the bishop around, and then I can play rook c8, and I get more counterplay and more effect and more open lines and position. And it's like that's what I want when he keeps the center closed and he wants to hit me brutally here. I want to open lines, and I want, because he gets something exposed. You cannot get everything. You give away development, and to keep that center closed in return to get the position opened up on the left wing, on the king side. But then I want to open up his center, like counter, like obviously the other side. Not just gonna wait and sit around, and I want to get some counterplay, right? And then I want to trade pieces, or I want to win some pawns or win a piece, stuff like that. But I didn't play like this, which I only realized afterwards. I heard it up a little bit. I played e5 immediately, and now after d5, c4. This is good too, but not as good because you don't get the open c file for the rook, right? This is strategy. So bishop c2, he moves the bishop back, and now knight c5, right? What I want is to get my pieces to right squares and activate them. I got a like not really a majority, but I got more space on the queen side, and I got an outpost for the knight. The knight can jump around, and I'm prepared to remaneuver the knight over here if needed, or whereas I've also opened up the bishop. So h4, and now it's very important to close down his attack with h5, because this pawn needs to remain here to not open up the rook. If I had played, for example, something like a5 and then continued with like possibly another plan on the queen side, then after h5 and for example takes, you can throw in a check to king h8, right? That's the only move. And then he can even take like this or keep the position even opened up, like then grab with the rook. It's trouble. maybe not knight h3, but just take, and then knight h3 maybe later on or something. But yeah, or just don't take or not queen g5. You can also go g5, which this looks also very scary. For example, knight e8 and then rook h5 and then queen h2. Like, it's dangerous. Why allow this? Why would we allow this? So I I played h5 to blockade his rook, to blockade his pawn, to blockade his queen. So g5, I move the knight back, and f4. He's still trying to push the pawns, and this is a mistake because he will forgo development and his king is still in the center. Where now I'm happy to open up the position, but I'm opening it more on my favor and on my terms. I'm opening up my rook, my knight, my bishop is opened up. I'm trying to get to his king. So knight h3, and I think I took the knight first before or anyway, it's like this. Yeah. I took the knight first with the bishop, but I put the move orders the same way anyway, because I defend the queen now. The reason I took the knight is because I just want to speed up my development. And now I play knight f6. My point is I want to play either knight g4. Look at his king. It's weak. His pieces are uncoordinated. I want to play queen e7, and I'm ready to bring... I only need two pieces to bring more. Whereas he needs to bring the knight, the bishop, and the other rook, and to coordinate those pieces as well. So he will waste much more time than me. But now he pushes at e5 to open up the the bishop and the queen, to attack me over there. And now knight fe4 to blockade the attack and offer a queen exchange. Right? I took back, and then he pushed the pawns, trying to trick me, check if I see or I don't, a fork. So I moved the rook away, obviously defending. And now knight d2 to develop his remaining pieces and then, if necessary, to castle. And here I thought for like 7 minutes or five or something, because I can obviously take, and he got something going on, but still this pawn over here on the d5 is still without a pawn guarding it. So that's what I did. I played knight f6 to go after it immediately, right? And what he should do here, maybe play rook g3, I guess. I would play rook g4 anyway to block it, the attack. If he takes, I take back. Then I'm just gonna play knight takes d5. There's no way to defend it. And there's a trick here, for example, castle, and then knight takes c4, whereas if I take, he can recapture the knight, so he wins a pawn for a pawn. He could have done this. Denis could have done this in the game as well, like after castles and take. I think he did not see this. Knight takes c4, but I guess there's knight c3. It's complicated. There's rook d6. Very tactical, very tactical. I saw this, obviously. I'm strong, but he did not. So he played knight f3 and hitting my knight, and I played knight e3. So he made a mistake because he's giving me up this bishop, which was kind of his pride of the position. He lost so many tempi, and my pawns are on light square, so those were targets for him. So he moved the rook. He should have honestly also moved the rook over here, like to put the rook behind the passed pawn, to kind of, because that's his play, and he wants to guard the pawn. There's no more attack over here when I just trade the bishop, which I was gonna do anyway. But at least now the rook is behind the passed pawn. So these are some improvements. If Denis is watching this, then he can improve on the game. But he put the rook over there to hit my pawn. Now, if you follow the game just 2 seconds ago, you know what my next move is, right? I just take the bishop, and then he takes back, and now this pawn drops because he doesn't have a rook behind the passed pawn. So I just grab it. He doubles up. He puts up a battery. Rook f6. Very simple and very straightforward. Knight d4, I took, he took, I put the rook on e8 on an open file. Rook a3. At this point, I'm up 2 pawns, exactly 2 pawns, or these pawns to see more clearly. And he's attacking my pawn, so I push d5 to defend it with the rook. Obviously, I have a winning position. I don't remember if these were the exact moves, but this is basically what happened. I pushed the pawn, I moved the rook, and then I pushed the other pawn, and then I won the game. So that's another game from last week. Let's see, we have 34 minutes recorded already. So I'm gonna show you what else. Oh, I'm gonna show you the game from 2 weeks prior to this, or 2 weeks prior to this. I recalled the game I played with white, so let me flip the board. So I played with white and I played a blindfold game against Gage. So Gage, if you're watching this, hello, welcome, and nice to see you. So I played blindfold. Yeah, I was just telling the moves to Gage, and he was putting them on the board for me and for him. I and with the clock too. He was pressing the clock for both of us. It's like I was a blindfold man. So this is how I played with white, an advanced Caro-Kann. Knight d2, I played this line. This is the recommendation of Wesley So, the famous grandmaster from America. He's 2700. His peak rating was 2800. He was very, very strong, and he is very, very strong still. But he recommends this in his course with knight d2, e6, knight b3. This is all the moves are played blindfold, and I was telling the moves to Gage. Queen b6, which is not such a good move because you kind of waste time and you want to push c5, sure, but you can prepare this in better ways with knight d7. But okay, a4, knight d7 does this. But the point is just that I get a tempo on a5 on the queen. So obviously he needs to play a5, like to stop this. Again, Wesley so covers this in his course, and if you study it, you know it, which I do, which obviously Gage did not. Huh, that's funny. All right. Queen c7, and then knight f3. All right, c5. I took. Maybe it's better if he took with the bishop. Knight c5. Definitely it would have been better if he took with the bishop. Also, there's another point he could have taken on e5. So again, I'm blindfold when I play the game. You can watch the camera watch it on this side, right down in the corner. So like, look at my eyes. They're closed. I was with my back turned. So he took the on c5, and I was saying knight b to d4, and he put the move on the board, my move, and he was pressing the clock for me. And then he played bishop g6 to save his bishop, and he said bishop g6, and I heard, and he pressed the clock. And then I said bishop b5, check, and then he made a mistake, he moved the king. That's not to be recommended. c4, obviously, trying to break through the position and get to his king. Obviously, here he should have played knight d7 back. That's why it would have been better to come out with the bishop. Here he wasted some time. Anyway, what he did, he said knight to e4, and I understood what that meant. Just a knight in the center, and then bishop b4 will comes. So I first I think I castled actually, but because I was recalling the game, takes, we get to the same position. So first in the game I said castle, and then he made his move. He played bishop b4, and then I took, I believe, which leads to the same position, and then I move the bishop, where I'm preparing a trick, you know. I'm definitely preparing a trick. Hold on, okay. 37 minutes recorded. I'm preparing a trick which he fell for it. Gage fell, and he said bishop takes a5. I've given him a pawn, which is a poison pawn. So how does white play here and get a strong attack? Pause the video and get the best move for white here. Yeah, definitely. Blindfolded as I was, and with my back turned, I said knight to b3, and I was so happy when I saw this in my head, because then I hit his bishop, double attack, and then I hit a pawn, which is spaghettio for him, which means it's bad. It's very, very bad. He moved the bishop. I took the pawn. Actually, I told him queen takes d5, I want to play, and he played the move on the board, and he pressed the clock. And I don't really remember like if this was the identical position. And I remember he played some moves, and I won the queen, and the game lasted for like 25 moves. But for the sake of keeping the video shorter, he I'm just gonna say that he played queen d7 because I did checkmate him, but on d6 actually in the game. In d6 I got rid of his knight as well, and yeah. Anyway, so that's another game against Gage. One more game would be against Brenton, where I played with white, and I played this trick with bishop to f4, and he was scared to take, because then I take on b7, and then again suddenly his rook is, or I think I had c3 included, and oh yeah, I had knight c3 included, and it was something like e6 or knight f6, right? And bishop to f4, but it's the same thing, okay? Just with knight c3 included, all right? Just take my word for it. Like he played queen b6. Now I told him after, so let's say with something like over here. I told him after the game he could perhaps take and play something like just e6, give up the rook, and then return back with the queen with the point of just moving like if I do nothing, right? And then he wants to move the knight and then kill the queen, right? So I told him that afterward, and he definitely learned something new, Brendan. So yeah, anyway, bishop to f4. So okay, queen b6, c5 again with the knight c3 was included, knight c3 and d6 or something, knight c2 or knight f6. Okay, so here he made a blunder actually. He played knight f6, and he really should have played uh bishop, like he should have moved the knight. He didn't really see the threat. Bishop takes b8, and then rook takes a7. I won a pawn. Knight to e4, and I believe here I played knight d2. Yeah, promote, which is a mistake. I should have probably just taken something and then play e3. And just get a good position, right? And speed up the development. But I play knight d2, and this is bad because, it's very uncomfortable, more or less, It's very uncomfortable. I cannot move the knight because my pawn hangs. I cannot move my king. This bishop is really pesky. Anyway, just gonna show you what happened a little bit. I won the game in the end. I don't remember if this was the exact position, but this is just basically I'm up a pawn, and yeah, I just improved my position, swapped some pieces, and ended up being up with the rook something like, for example, f3. Well, we obviously traded all of these guys, and but I'm just saying what happened. Okay, and yeah, just for example, this, yeah. And then with the bishop traded off, and with the king, and I got some attack, and yeah, I won the game. So this is the game against Brenton. Okay, and let me see if I have any more games. Definitely have some analysis, and I definitely have some more stories. Oh, and I recall some games I played in the French defense against Ron, and it was a win award, something like that, where with a knight 97 and something like queen g4, I guess, and some a4, some a mix of that, and he castled, and I got a very very strong attack because I opened up the h file for the rook, and I don't really remember how exactly. Uh, yeah, yeah, I don't remember how, but anyway, just the stories, just of that. What else? This is what I've showed you against Denis. Anything else? I've showed you the analysis. This is, let me see some of the moves. If I have anything anymore, no. No. That's basically it. And also what I want to storytell is that I've also when I was let me see, so 43 minutes recorded. So when I was holding the chess session for everybody, what was I preaching? So I've basically showed people the first three steps as I show my students. First three steps in chess for beginners. For example, first step is to move the pawns to move the pawns. I just make it as simple as possible. Move pawns, right? Obviously, we want to control the center, so not any pawns. So move pawns, control the center. So I said step one, and then we do let's just say I move one more pawn just for the you know like this. But obviously, so this is step one, right? But then step two is to move the pieces, right? And to develop, right? And then not move the same piece again. So don't move the same piece twice. So move every single piece once. That's step two is moving the pieces. So when I did the chess coaching, face to face, right at the cafe, and people gathered like 10 people, 15 people, it was pretty good. You guys can leave down a comment down below if you are watching, if you guys from the Wussow's Cafe are watching, from the Twin Ports Chess Club, you know, and if you've participated at the chess session, let me know also. It was kind of fun. So I've showed the steps where you develop the pieces, right? And for example, you go to steps. I'm just showing some random moves. Okay. Step three is to castle, by the way, to bring the king to safety. And then always I say, do not move the same piece twice. So look at the guys who did not move. All right. Move the bishops. move the queen. That's what I preach to my students, by the way, and I practice what I preach. Queen d7, for example, rook a d1. Always the rooks come to the open files, or to the open files, or to the central files. If the game is closed, bring the rooks to the open files. So these guys did not move at all. So I bring the rooks, and that's step two. So to recap, we do step one, we bring the pawns, and then we bring the pieces. We do step number two, and then we hold on a moment to bring the king to safety. Step number three, and after we finish step number two, we go back to step two, right? Step two, and then step one, because we need to make space for the other pieces, right? And then we figure out who didn't move at all, queen d2, if it's a close position. If it's an open position, it's more complicated. It's more like it's understandable to move more like the piece more than one time, like especially if your opponent attacks it, right? Like if your opponent attacks it, I'm not gonna say that I didn't move the pawn to let him grab my bishop, because I'm just, if that makes sense, I'm just stubborn to not move the bishop again. No, I'm just gonna move it again because the pawn is 1 point and the bishop is 3 points, right? But this is basically what we covered when I did the chess session. And then I also showed two of my games. Let's start with the last one. I think I showed people the one that I've won first. Let's start with the last one. I've played this game over the board, and it shows a lower rating, a 1931, because that's the rating I had in Rapid. Now I'm at 20. Hold on, where is my profile? Yeah, these are my ratings over the board, right? So now I have 2081 Rapid rating, and here when I play the game I had 1931. So you can see that I've improved with actually plus 150 points elo over the board, and I definitely have strength for more. So I played this game in 2022. Really, I actually forgot that I played in 2022 at stage 5, leg number 5 at the Romanian Grand Prix against Grandmaster Gage Guseinov. So I've showed this game at the Wussow Chess Club, the cafe, that I presented people, that even though I lost the game, I played very well. And actually, the Grandmaster from Azerbaijan, he's actually born in Russia, and he's 39 years old. I've looked at and we're gonna see his game on the first page, on the front page. He actually praised me. He actually asked my rating here, and he was impressed that I've shown very good understanding of the game. So I put the rook on an open file, and I play a Sicilian. You can see that he messed up my pawn structure, but I have the bishop and he has a knight. And I have play. And we castle on the same side. I move the king away to open up the rook, and that's the plan basically. So bishop to e7 to move it one time and connect the rooks, stay still. And unfortunately, I wanted to show you the timestamps of the game, but it seems that it wasn't recorded, unfortunately. I'm sorry, guys, and it's very unfortunate because that's why I've chosen chess.com. Anyway, so I put the rook on a semi-open file soon to open up the rook, where I play knight a5 to improve, so I understand the game very well. So the center is closed, or like not very like close contact, chest by chest, you know what I mean? Like like hand to hand, like door by door, but it's like closed, like it's not touching each other. It's like staring at a mirror, at windows, that's how the center looks. And even though I have a majority 4-2 in the center, it's only relevant in the end game, right? And now they like work like weaknesses. But if the bishop guards it, it's not really a weakness. So knight a5, I improve my position, and he stops it. So I play queen c6. Suddenly I have a battery. Suddenly, I'm kind of controlling the game. I want to triple up maybe next. You know what I mean? And I was actually just putting some pressure, improving my position, maybe preparing knight c4. And it's actually a mistake that I've done. And also rook d8 is a small inaccuracy. I should have played. Okay, it doesn't allow me to analyze. So let's hold on. Let me go back. Actually, let's go to. Oh, let me. Yeah, can we analyze this? Yeah, analysis. No, I want self-analysis, not game review. I want to do a short one. So actually, it even says that e6 is a bad move. G6 is probably considered better, or I don't know. But I didn't want to play G6. I just did not. I want to play E6 because if G6 Then he can take, and then he has 95, which I don't like at all. Maybe G6 or maybe something else. I don't know. What does the engine prefer? Oh, knight G4. Oh, I didn't even know about this move. Maybe he did know. Maybe Guseinov. But I was a practical player, okay? So E6, as wrong as it seems, because it does block my position, my pawns, I at least take the D5 square. So I presented this game at Wussow's Chess Cafe when I've done the chess class. So Bishop to E7, okay. The engine doesn't approve with my moves. Sure, okay. Rook C8, whatever. Maybe yeah, maybe I had better moves, whatever. Because the bishop also here controls h6, but it's such a like it's a dynamic position. It's an unusual one with the pawns, and it's not easy to play. So I was playing more humanly, I was also explaining the class, like just connecting the rooks, making a battery, and here also bringing the rook into the center. But what I should have really done is perhaps rook c7 and rook g to c8, right? Like for example, he plays something like king a1 and then rook here, and then moving the queen. Like would be my dream setup. Maybe I can sacrifice two also to win the game. Maybe this sacrifice works, but like this would be like an improvement to do the Alekhin's gun. Always the rooks in front and the queen in the back, but you can see that it takes so much time. Like two moves, he's not gonna move the king around. He's a grandmaster, and even a beginner wouldn't do this, right? He wouldn't just play just default moves, But I moved the rook to the center, which is also quite fine. Queen b6 to actually prepare this idea, and I've shown this class. So now, right now, I'm doing a recording a video to basically present online to have a video that will remain forever, hopefully on YouTube. To be there and to basically, it's like I streamed what I did the class. So a6 to kind of not allow queen b5. I don't want to trade queens. And you can see that he's kind of on the back foot. And then I double up, and that's why he praised me after the game, because I do something. He just stays still. If I and even now, if I just play rook c7, he might offer me a draw. Oh, now we see the timings. Oh, and you see analysis. We had to go to analysis to see the timestamps. And I have 343 and he has 841. So it was a rapid game. It was like so I'll go back. It was 15 plus 5. 15 plus 5. A very weird time control. So let's go back to where we were. Rook c1. Knight c4, which says it's good, but I didn't like. I criticized my move very, 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 very badly when I showed the class, because he's not doing anything, and I can just stay still and improve my position forever. I can play bishop to f8, maybe prepare bishop to h6, bishop to g7, right? Maybe like if the bishop comes over here, let's just say he doesn't do anything because he doesn't really have an active plan, and his knight is kind of stuck here. So for example, if I can move the bishop now. He doesn't need to be stuck. For example, if he tries to do something, right? Then I can come with the knight. I want to avoid exchanges as much as possible and make threats. Now I make a threat of checkmate. If he does, for example, g4, I can push f5. I'm just showing to you guys. Like he might take the pawn, but then I win, right? Then I just win, don't I? Just rook c3 and I'm just completely winning. No? If I turn on the engine, I should be completely winning, right? Queen e4, and then I just do something, and I'm checkmating him. Rook a3, king a3, queen e2. This did not happen in the game. This is just analysis, guys. But you get a point. Like I could have done this infinitely, like back and forth, like to make a draw, worst case scenario, or improve my position, which now I understand, like more practical. But I was too impulsive, too impulsive. That's what I said. Like this knight was doing something, still on the edge of the board, but his knight was just guarding. He was defending. He was waiting. He was waiting. Always keep the threat is stronger than the execution, guys. The threat is stronger than the execution, and I leave you with that. All right. I also want to show you the game with Ivan Sokolov, so let's not make this one longer than 1 hour. So d5, this is a blunder because I drop a pawn. So long story short, I drop a pawn. I drop this pawn. I was too impulsive. You can see it here that I make a weakness for him, and his knight is back. So he will probably bring the pieces back and try to win the game. And I'm down on the clock. You never want to open up the position when you're down on the clock and you don't know what you're doing, especially blundering, right? I wanted to do this, and it's good if I didn't blunder the pawn. So if he had like queen f3 and then I play this, sure, by all means, play rook d5, right? Like and d5. But first play h6, right? And then play d5 to kind of work, you know? Or yeah, like this, or I can even trade and double up. So these are things to learn from, right? You are low on the clock. You know that it's added 5 seconds increment. So don't open up the position and lose the game. At least make a draw with the grandmaster, you know? And then it's basically almost over. Also, why did I wanna kind of invite him to play? Oh, c4 doesn't work here because the rook is here. Later on. Yeah, I'm just moving around. I'm trying to improve. I'm down a pawn, but at this point, it's hard to play. And I still play. I have 8 seconds on the clock, and he has 6 minutes. A grandmaster is a grandmaster. He moves the pieces faster. You know, if he had played queen pawn to b4, that was the trick a little bit. Queen takes b4. It's just, but he will never, never, ever, because you can see that the pawn. He will never fall for that. You can see the pawn cannot take because there's a pin, and this pawn cannot take because there's a pin. So it's kind of cute. I figured I should show you guys. So anyway, long story short, the game progressed, but because I'm only playing on seconds. He won a second pawn, again a second pawn, and he has a passer. His knight was defending a position, and he won a piece, and then they'll get the game along with it. I'm gonna save this. Partide mari maestri mai mici. It means games, you know, smaller grandmaster, partide smaller masters, like me, you know. And now I want to show you the game that I've also showed at the club again. Oh, also let me show you one game from Guseinov Gadir because this was very beautiful. Like, look at this player, this strong grandmaster from Azerbaijan. Can I make this bigger? Can I make this? Uh, it's too small. It's too small. Hold on. I got very excited also. So let's see. A little bit less than this. Okay. Hold on. Okay, now I think. Huh? Can I do like this? An arrow? Yeah. Okay, but you cannot see everything. Let me fix it first. Yeah, okay, I have to minimize it one more. Sorry about that. To press on the arrow. So let's see how Guseinov Gadir won this game. Okay, like the GM that I just played. You know, I've showed the game at the Wussow's Cafe to get some perspective. Who is this guy? You know, the Grandmaster for the Azerbaijan 2600. So what happened? He played the King's Indian, and now White is trying to attack. You know, grab the pawn. He sacrificed the pawn. He wants to push the pawn to h4 and h5. And now a brilliant move, b5, b5. He takes with the knight, then this queen takes b2. If he takes with the pawn, I mean, we just move the knight in, I guess, knight to d4, and we open up the game because his king is still in the center. And I think this guy was an IM or an FM or something, or even a GM. He's 2395. So, uh, yeah. This was in 2006, Capella Grand France. Let's see. So he opened up the game, the White Castle on the queen side, but it's very bad. His king is open, and now he did a sacrifice here, knight to f5, and now pause the video, and it's a big move from the black side. Very, 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 very strong move to win the game. Very explosive move. Pause the video and comment down below right now. What's the tactic? How does black win the game? Yeah, for those of you who found it, congratulations. For those of you who wanna see the move, let's watch it. Queen takes c3, check. And also for those of you who tried to look for it and didn't find it, okay, because you put in the effort. So queen takes c3, basically a queen sacrifice. What happens if we take? If we take, pawn takes, rook check, king up, check from the bishop. Bishop takes pawn, check. Bishop here or rook, and then the other rook comes in with a checkmate. I cannot put it on the board. Sorry about that, guys. So he moved the king. Basically, black won a piece. Or actually, he won his piece back, or he no, he sacrificed everything, and then he sacrificed the bishop for a mating attack. He sacrificed the queen. It was a queen sack invitation. Anyway, so this is Gadir Guseinov, who I played against, and I've shown at the at the cafe. And I want to show you one more game against Sokolov that I've showed at the cafe when I did a chess session, so that you guys can get to know me. All right, analysis, analysis. All right, because I won this game also. Spoiler alert. All right, so it's a good game. All right, this is one of my best games. Like this is my best win, and it's over the board. Okay, again, it was at the Romanian Grand Prix. You know, right? I was over the board in Bucharest. It was last year in 2024. Where can you find the information? I believe somewhere here, for example. Look, 2024, March 2024 Grand Prix Romania Stage 1 2024, if you don't believe me. So e4, e5, knight f3, and see, look at this. I was never worse in the game. I played the Spanish game. Why am I showing you this game? To gain more credibility and to show you what I did at the chess class when I presented it in Wussow's cafe. Okay, I presented everybody these games. Okay, where I play a Spanish, I'm with white, and I play against this strong grandmaster, Ivan Sokolov. Okay, he's right now in Classic 2590. Okay, he's a grandmaster. He's aged 557. He's Bosnian, but he has lived in Netherlands. He's also still playing. He was 2700. I'm gonna show you the game against Kasparov. I'm gonna put some timestamps for this video so you can skim through it. Okay, C3. I'm playing the Spanish. Okay, H3. This is the book moves. These are the book moves. This is the classical line. Knight B8, the Breyer system. A4, just as Kasparov taught me. Okay, because I didn't get trained with Kasparov, but I studied his books, right? Well, as I've learned from Kasparov. Okay, D3 to defend the pawn and improve my position. Then I move the pieces around. I develop. He wins my bishop, light square bishop, which is the if you study the Spanish game, it's very strong. It's very strong, very a key attacker in this opening. Okay, but what do I gain? I regain my pawn and I gain a knight, obviously, and I activate my pieces. He has a weakness, potential weakness on a6, and I get to activate all of my other pieces. Now, how he should play? Rook e8, I don't like his plan. Rook e8 and bishop to f8 with g6 is too slow. Too slow. He should play c5 perhaps, because I've played this game again online, with white, and I've lost one time or another time, But I still like the position for white. So he should really aim for queenside play. That's the point. Or maybe play knight d7, improve the knight, bring the knight over. I think that's my guess. That's my take. So knight c4. Look at how white improves. So bishop to f8, a mistake. Knight to a5. It says it's an inaccuracy. Okay. Bishop to c8. Bishop to g5. Look how all of my pieces have already moved and they are out. The rook on e1 is not doing much. That's the truth. And the knight on f3. But his pieces are on the back rank. All of them, besides the knight on f6, which is crazy, right? Rook e6, and it's very uncomfortable. d4, d4 breaking the center. So how did I beat the grandmaster? Knight c6, queen e8, and then d5. Great move. Great move. Actually, it's the only move actually, because you drop the knight because I make pin. And queen takes c6. It says it was a mistake. I thought it was a good move. Maybe it was better to take with the pawn. I don't know. My belief was that I don't want to keep the queens on the board against the grandmaster when I have more space and I already have a good position. Simplify. My belief is just because I still get a good position. Look, I should have +1, no? Oh no, plus 0.26. Oh, I think I had +1 with d takes c6, right? So if I took with the pawn, yeah, yeah, this is +1. Taking with the pawn is +1 because I keep the queen, and he's very passive. Oh, it's more than +1, +1.5. So already I'm much better. White is much better. Anyway, I still have keep a slight edge, and now I keep a big edge. So pause the video. This is a pause the video moment, guys, and find the best move for white, a strategical move to get a better position and get clear control and make life difficult for black. Yeah. For those of you who found it, congratulations. The move is bishop to f6. And now, again, pause the video, guys. You need to find the next continuation. It's crucial. It's crucial. Okay? Black is threatening rook fb8 for if you haven't seen it. And if you push before rook b6 and this pawn is gone. Okay? And he will win a pawn and maybe win the game. Grandmaster will beat me. Okay? So find the best move. Pause the video right now and find the best continuation for white. Okay, at least try it. Okay, for those of you who found it, congratulations. The whole continuation, at least the first move, brilliant move, or who watched the game. For those of you who tried, congratulations on the effort. Okay, for those of you who did not find it, let's see the game. So I played 92, the only good move that keeps the game going and keeps an advantage, because it says it's a great move, but great move, like if I turn on the engine. Watch this. Plus 1.5. 92. Oh, okay. I guess knight h4 is also an idea and b4. Yeah, but I really like 92. Okay. I guess it's more, I don't know. 92 is strong. Rook b8, knight c4. Congratulations to everybody who found knight c4, where I defend the pawn and I don't allow rook b6 because I'm just gonna take the rook and I protect the c6 pawn indirectly. I protect the b2 pawn directly. I improve my knight. The knight was not doing anything on f3, so this is a position. This is a positional move, strategical game, right? Rook b5. He's persistent. He's very stubborn. b4, obviously restrict the rook. Bishop to h6 to try to activate the bishop. And now really rook e to d1, which is strong. Do not allow d5, to not allow bishop to d2 to activate the rook, basically. Putting it on an open file. It was not on an open file. It was not doing anything against the pawn on e4. f5, e takes e5, e takes f5, and now f6. All right? He sacrificed the pawn in hopes of pushing d5. He got rid of my pawn over here, and he was a little bit impulsive. All right, so now rook a5, okay, to exchange his rook, and then that's his only active piece. Okay, bishop to h6, bishop on h6 is also active, but he's not doing much, no targets. Rook on b5 is the most active one. So now king f7, and now again, second pause the video moment for this game. White to move, an explosive move on the board. White to move and win the game. Okay, right? A bomb, a bomb. Win the game in like 10 moves, 15 moves. A very strong tactical resource. Okay, for those of you who found it, congratulations. For those of you who tried, more than congratulations, because you put in the effort, but you didn't find it. I'm sorry about that. And for those of you who just want to see how the game went, let's check it out. Rook takes d6, brilliant move. Rook sacrifice, as Levy says, sacrificed the rook. Okay, c takes d6, knight takes d6. That's the whole point. I win 2 pawns, and then I win back my rook. He cannot take back as he drops his rook. It's a pin. I win back my material. I win 2 pawns. He played bishop to d2. And again, guys, pause the video. And it's a positional move, strategical move to include another piece into the game in the end game and prepare to win the game. Give no hopes for your opponent. Okay, seconds have passed. Thank you, guys. And for you, those of you who found it, obviously, king to f1, strong move. I was sharp up until the end. 4 minutes and 36 seconds against 8 minutes. So I really took my time to think and calculate. e4, king e2, kicking away his bishop. He has nothing. The pawn is protected. He cannot take my knight because he drops the rook. He cannot attack my knight because, then I move the pawn and then I take this. So it's all rubble, it's all rubbish. G3 to kick away his bishop again, put him into passivity, put him in respect, and then knight c7, rook c8, knight d5 check. Don't take this pawn. We don't need this pawn to trade for this guy over here. Remember, this my opponent is a grandmaster and a very strong coach. c7, I keep this pawn, and then I'm up, I believe 3 pawns already. I'm gonna take this one. So bishop to f8, I just play c4, and he resigned because after rook a8, for example, I can play rook a6 and then bring a queen, and that's it. And if he doesn't do this, then I just take the pawn. you know, I'll take this one as well. For example, if it goes king e5, I'm just gonna take this pawn. If he defends this, I guess I'm just gonna give a check or something, or just play rook b6 and rook b8. So it's all over. Rook b6 and rook b8 is even stronger, and that's it. He has to give up the rook for the pawn to not become a queen, and it's all over. Let's save this game again. Uh, okay, and that's basically the story. That's what I presented at Wussow's Cafe. Now let's check Ivan Sokolov. He was the coach for he was 2700 peak rating in 2000s, and he has a brilliant game, winning one game against Garry Kasparov in 1999. His peak rating was 2700 again. He has a one game against Garry Kasparov. We're just gonna check it in a moment. Okay, and Ivan Sokolov was born in Bosnia. He's a grandmaster, and he coached 2022 Chess Olympiad gold-winning Uzbekistan team. Remember, guys, in 2022, the Olympiad of chess. So I'm just gonna zoom in and show you the game from with Kasparov so that you can see the best way possible. 250, no, 200. Okay. So let's see. Sokolov is with white and Kasparov is with black. So let's check out this game. It's a queen's pawn game, and we have a Nimzovich, Indian's Nimzovich defense, I guess, right? Sorry, I'm still nervous. I'm still a little bit excited with adrenaline and stuff. It's a normal game. Sokolov plays naturally. This is the main line. Queen c2, d takes c4. Okay, this is the mainest of the main line, and Kasparov plays it. Bishop to d3, keeping all the tension. Rook e8, improving the rook. Okay, e4. This is actually a pawn sacrifice, I believe. Takes. Bishop g4, where he doesn't accept it. Actually, if he takes with, he cannot accept it. If c takes d4, if he takes with the pawn, then knight takes because of the pin. So it's, yeah, he can reclaim the pawn. So white gets the center, e5, but maybe bishop g4 was not too good. So I'm not sure what's the best way to continue. Maybe black needs to play g6 to stop this. So bishop to g4, but Kasparov was very tactical player. And now Sokolov is tactical too. He takes the knight. Look, he's attacking the king and the bishop is still hanging. So knight takes d4. That's what Kasparov thought. He's just gonna take the pawn in the center, defend his bishop, and he will win a pawn. But Sokolov says, I'm gonna give you a check, okay? And then I'm gonna give you another check. Alright? And bishop to b2. Look, he didn't even need to move the queen. This is a crazy game, guys. I'm telling you. The bishop pair against the king, and the pawns are equal, actually. 3, 4 against 4. And by the way, this game is analyzed in Garry Kasparov's book, in My Great Predecessors. So check it out, definitely. That's where I've learned a lot of chess, and I've seen this game firsthand in the first time. So g takes f3. Now Sokolov gets a piece. But rook h8, Kasparov thought he can get an attack, so he moves the bishop. Then queen h2, queen takes h2 is checkmate, and he needs to drop the bishop. But king h1 is brilliant because then he has rook g1, and the king is like toast almost. And now rook g3. This is more brilliant to close down the queen and then prepare the other rook to come into the game. A battery. The knight is pinned, and the king is weaker. Believe it or not, it's about time. It's about time. Maybe Black would have done better. Maybe Kasparov would have done better if he had played Rook G8. But still, oh, actually, Rook G8 drops a piece. No, Rook G8, Bishop takes D4. You cannot take with the C pawn because Queen C7, and yeah, this is very unfortunate. So that's why he played Queen E5 to defend the knight and the unpin, and then he wants to play Rook G8, but he has no time. Look how well Sokolov played. Queen C1 to get out of the pin, you know. Check, Queen F1, and he's gonna play Queen G2 or Rook H3. Queen G2, and here Kasparov resigned because it's a triple battery and he just cannot stop Rook G8. If he plays Rook E8, that's how he stops it, I guess. But a lot of moves win, like Rook H3, maybe Rook G7. If he plays Rook E8, Queen E8, then maybe Rook G7 or Rook H3. So that's brilliant. This is Ivan Sokolov. This is who I've won against over the board. My greatest victory against the grandmaster, and that's basically it. And I'm gonna conclude the video. I'm gonna make the image big again. A long video, a very long video, where I've shared a lot of insight. Also, what I've presented at the Chess Wussow's Cafe. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys tuning in to the channel. Subscribe, smash the subscribe button if you liked it, if you watched it, and thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for tuning in again. It's really my appreciation that you offered me your attention for more than an hour. And yeah, more videos will come. I will try to reward you guys. Okay, I'll learn some video editing and better explanation at chess. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the stories. I hope you enjoyed the games. And leave a like if you did. Subscribe as I've mentioned earlier, and drop down a comment, your opinion. And yeah, I guess that's it. Share it with a friend, Ivan. Share it with people. Okay, so we can spread chess, and so you can help me grow the channel, so you can help me grow the videos. I'm trying to do this for you guys. Okay, and I'm trying to help as many people as possible. I'm also a coach. I help students. I make them greater at chess. So help me spread awareness with chess. Help me get recognition and improve more. Help people, coach them. Because a lot of people don't know me and don't know my channel. And the channel has free stuff, has free videos. So thank you guys again, and I love you guys. Okay, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay? I really loved it, and I really enjoyed covering it and recording the video. Thank you guys. It was also very tiring, so I hope you appreciate my effort and my dedication and my work. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.